Or does it just cover the pain with the weather?
Good evening and welcome to King's Connection, the Remarkable Young Women series. And real quick, I want to say I'm going to introduce you to our guest in a minute, but I want to say a special hello to Jennifer Hayward, our remarkable young woman who was second in our series, wonderful young lady who's up and coming for a great country music act that she's doing. And also give a shout out to the remarkable young woman who started our entire series, and that's Naomi Turi. And she's at home. She had a little injury. Now she's going to be fine, but we haven't seen her for a while, so we're wishing her the best and our thoughts are with her. Now on with our newest remarkable young lady, I'd like you to meet Maria Mandrussow.
Hello, how are you doing?
Top of the world, and it's so good to see you here.
Good to see you too.
Now, what I like to do is give a little family history of people so we know, where they came from, where their heritage is and everything. But first I want to say, the way that I met you was actually at a songwriting event that happened to be in town here. And out of hundreds of songwriters, aspiring songwriters, you were my absolute favorite.
Well, thank you. That's very much of a compliment.
Well, and we were just walking across campus, had never met, and there was an older gentleman with us. We had a few laughs, and then went about our ways. And later on, in one of the song screenings, you happened to sit next to myself and Jennifer. Jennifer was there with her songs too, and we were just taken aback by how good your music is.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So I want to ask, your heritage originally, your families came from where?
Russia and El Salvador.
Oh, so you have a blend of this in your past. Now, were they first-generation Americans, or were your grandparents here
My
too?
grandparents immigrated to America, to San Francisco.
They came right to San Francisco, so instead of perhaps getting off in New York area, they came to San Francisco? Wow, do you know when that was eventually? Or?
I am not sure of the exact date.
Not sure in general, but so you'd be third-generation San Francisco?
Yes, that would be correct.
And you were born there?
I was born and raised in San Francisco.
Wow. So let's see, who won the World Series?
The Giants!
They did, didn't they?
Look at all the cameras.
So being in San Francisco, you probably went to the event?
I did, yes.
You did?
I actually drove down. Well, I went to the event for their homecoming on Wednesday, so that was...
the big parade.
Yeah, it was quite amazing. There were tons and tons of people there.
Yeah, I've heard it's maybe one of the biggest parades they've ever had. Wow.
Yes.
So it's kind of nice to be there in the center of the action.
It was very, very cool, historical event.
Yeah. So now your parents, and why I'm going to ask this is, your parents, are they involved in music, or where do you feel you got your music roots from?
You know, I know that both of my grandmothers used to sing, but I feel that it sort of skipped a generation. My father actually has a very beautiful voice, but he does not sing often, and he plays the guitar as well. Oh. And my mother is a lovely, wonderful woman, but she is a little bit tone deaf. But
really?
But really, I think that I was just inspired by a lot of people around me, and just growing up, I listened to a lot of country music.
Sure.
Loved country music, and I think that's sort of what happened.
Did you go through phases maybe when you were younger, liking pop music or other things, or was it always country?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely a fan of the Backstreet Boys and all of those things like that. But country music definitely was a huge influence in my life, as well as Sarah McLachlan is actually one of my biggest influences too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, did your parents stress music at a young age or anything like that?
I took piano lessons when I was younger. I have two sisters, one younger and one older, and we all took piano lessons.
Wow.
So that was great. Yeah. Classical piano.
Sure.
But and I never actually learned to read the notes. It was all by ear, and I think that's kind of how I pick up music, which has been lovely.
Wow. So now, did you perhaps have a teacher come to the house since you were all studying piano?
Yes, we had a teacher, actually an older Russian woman who was friends with my grandmother.
So I wasn't sure if you tromped across the city and your sisters too. But, so guitar isn't your first instrument?
No, I actually started playing the guitar about a year ago. So and it's really connected very well with me. I love the piano, but the piano just, I mean, my parents have a piano at their home, but since I've moved, I don't really get a chance to play very often, but the guitar I can bring with me everywhere.
Exactly. I think between piano and drums, it's maybe two of the hardest instruments to have access to. But at least you don't have to build the piano, like a drum set. Now, Your father, what kind of work does he do?
He's a physician.
Physician, okay. And does your mother work, or is she out?
Yes, she's an occupational therapist, so they're both in the medical field.
Okay, and how about your sisters? What do they do?
My younger sister just moved to Chicago to go to medical school.
Okay.
And my older sister's in law school in Sacramento, and I'm a crazy musician person.
Well, that's what I'm getting to, because some of these questions I do know the answers to, and I'm leading up to an exact reference point, and that is that in your family, they're very well educated and very professional, and now you graduated university, correct?
Yes, I did.
In business?
I graduated from San Francisco State in business.
See, now this is one thing that's making you a remarkable young woman, because we're very lucky to have you then decide to do music, because you could be anything you want to be.
Yes.
I mean, it's obvious. Well, no, I mean, you could choose, and you're intelligent enough, and you come from a line of a family that's is very professional. I mean, my father was an army man, so
Yeah, it's definitely been a hard decision for me.
Yes.
To do that, because
that was going to be one of my questions, to actually pull away from security, or
definitely it's been hard, and it's been a little bit hard for some people in my family to accept a little bit, but it's really where my heart is, and I really love it very much, and and I have a degree, so I can always sort of use that when I need to.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I know when I went to my parents, I told them I wanted to be a professional bongo player. They were a little, unsure of my future.
They just care. They just care so much, and they're scared. And
they're trying to protect you.
Music is something that doesn't have a definite ending, so I understand. But
but too realistically, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, just like any industry you could go into. And I think that you understand business too. You'll do better at music.
Definitely, that definitely has helped me a lot. Even now, just being business smart and marketing wise and all of that.
Well, and to give a perfect recent example, when I gave you the talent release, you're the first person that read it.
Yes. Important
so
to read the documents.
Yeah. Now you've only played guitar 1 year?
Yeah, about a year.
Oh,
I started playing when I got back from studying abroad in Australia, which was amazing. And I've always wanted to play the guitar, and I always told myself that I needed to start playing, and I just never did. And then one day, a good friend of mine sat down with me and taught me how to play one chord G, and I was just like, that is beautiful.
Like I
could make a song out of just the G chord. Wow. So that's really how it started. Sure. I learned to play wagon wheel on the guitar, and just started writing, and
Now, how long has it been that you've been writing? Did you write all your songs to the guitar, or did you already have some maybe poetic ideas that you then refined?
Before I knew how to play the guitar, I wrote a lot of my songs just by ear, so I would just sing and sort of have an idea of what I wanted, but it's actually really hard for me to come up with a melody and then come up with chords on the guitar.
I see. Okay.
So now that I play the guitar, I will just sit there and sort of play and then come up with words and melody for the guitar. So,
and hearing your style, I would think it's makes you better that you've only played that amount of time, because when you're playing, it's very determinedly, and it's not just fancy chords that everyone knows when they're advanced.
Yeah,
I think that's part of the attraction of your quality.
Well, thank you.
Okay. So you're going to play a little bit later on the show, and then actually we're going to do our first music program. We're going to help get a video together for you.
And I'm very appreciative of that. Yeah. I'm going to have my very good friend Catherine Page singing with me as well.
That's another remarkable young woman who's in the studio tonight. And it's a very inspiring night. Now, go back a step here. You graduated university, then studied in Australia, was it?
I actually spent my last in Australia. I spent my last semester of school in studying abroad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that I just always wanted to do, and it was getting towards the end, and I was just needed to do it. So I did it, and it's definitely one of the best decisions I've made.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So now your sister, I think you said 24, 25, 26? Is that your ages? Or 23,
24, 25. I forget my age all the time, now that I'm so old.
Wow. Well, I'm asking that, kind of refreshing that idea, because you're so very young, yet your songs have a depth of soul that, I'll compare it to myself in that you're one of my absolute favorite acts already. When I first heard it at the songwriting event, I was amazed. Then in meeting you and your personality, and you gave me a copy of your CD, it was like unbelievable that you have that depth at such a young age. So I'm asking, where do you get the inspiration for songs?
Well, all of my songs really I write from experiences that I've had in my life. Sometimes they're not personal experiences that I've gone through myself, but just from others that are close to me and things like that. But a lot of them are about experiences that I've gone through.
Right.
And
so a song like Stung, which is, I mean, very obviously about addiction and its destruction, that would be someone that you knew, a friend or family or someone, and then you just, by observing it,
and it's, I mean, and music for me is definitely a path for me to sort of release or put my thoughts or things that I've kind of put doors upon, open them up, just but in a very peaceful way through music.
Yeah. Peaceful is a good word for your music because it's very soothing. And I would roughly describe it as Americana roots music, perhaps?
Yeah, I don't really know. The genre is one of the hardest things for me to describe when people ask me what genre it is. I really
Well, sometimes
not sure
that's
what to
when
say.
you're that unique, but then that's what happens when your music is then heard on the radio. They know it's you because it isn't like anything else. Yeah. Now, have you been performing out with your music as of yet?
I have. I perform in Sonoma County. Locally in Sonoma County, which is where I'm living now. So that's been really great. Just doing opening for other bands and open mics and doing features at open mics. So just slowly building.
Yeah. And is it everything you hoped it was? I mean, is it thrilling?
It is. It's very, very, very enjoyable to perform and know that people are hearing my music for what it is.
Right. Right. Now, you gave me a copy of your CD, so you produced that yourself, or you had some friends help you?
I have a friend who, his name is Max, and he does all of my recordings for me. He's also an artist himself, and really, really kind of him to record for me.
Well, good.
And so that's great.
Is that a studio by where you live, in the same county?
A home studio, yes.
Oh, yeah, it was very good quality.
Yes, a lot of people have told me that, which is great.
Yeah, one thing I really liked, at first when I listened to it, I thought you had harmonies while you were singing, but what it was the great quality of reverberation or echo on your voice gave it kind of a doubling effect.
Yes, some of my songs do have harmony that I've put on. I think maybe just one, but yes, the doubling thing.
And before tonight's event, when you were practicing with Catherine, it was fantastic. I mean, you guys, it's like your sisters. You know,
well, we are kind of sisters.
Oh, good. Yeah. And you've known each other since elementary school, is it?
I mean, we never went to school together, but we've known each other from a very young age, yes.
Yeah. Now, you're out Sonoma County, Sonora?
Sonoma County,
Sonoma County, Forestville. So it's a very kind of a country area.
Yeah.
But you were enjoying country music before you moved there?
Yeah, I was actually probably one of the very few people in San Francisco that listened to country music.
Yeah,
There's
that's
only
why I'm asking.
one station, and it changed a few times when I was living there. But it's just my aunt turned me onto it when I was a young kid, and at first I actually didn't like it, but then I just fell in love with mostly the lyrics because just the stories that they tell in country music are very relatable and nice to listen to and follow.
Now, do you find with young people your age that they enjoy country as much, or are they into other styles?
I don't think that many people my age. I mean, a lot of people enjoy country music, but I just find that a lot of people say, "Oh, I like everything but country." So, I mean, I think that a lot of people say that, but I think it's sometimes a little bit hard to get used to, but I really appreciate it a lot.
Okay. Well, would you like to do a song for us?
Sure, I would love to do a song.
Get your guitar, and then while you're doing that, they're going to bring a mic up for us to pick up the audio for it.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to tell the audience that you're going to get a good idea what our music's all about, rather than just talk about it and describe it. We're going to get to hear a little bit of it.
Yes. Okay. This is my guitar. Its name is Rogel.
Rogel the guitar.
Just got whipped back by my microphone, but that's all right. Okay. So this song is called Spaces, and it is a song about the home that I spent a lot of time in, and now spend all of my time in Forestville.
Summertime makes everything better, or does it just cover the pain with the weather? And I don't want to change a thing, from the tethered green shades to the chimneys, 'cause you're but I don't have the money and I miss the dance. Watching the skies with wandering eyes on the rooftop. We try to sleep, but it's slanted and weak and we fall off. This roof wasn't made for gazers, but it helped me to find what I'm made of. And there's so many memories in this place. Every old feeling in its face. And I could tear down the walls and build it again, but I don't have the money and I miss the dance. There's a picture of us covered in dust on the mantle. We're skinny and tan with more sand in our hands than we can handle. And the sun-bleached porch is sinking in, but I've never found the courage to repaint it again. 'Cause there's so many memories in this place. Every old feeling in its face. And I could tear down the walls and build it again, but I don't have the money and I miss the dance. Summertime makes everything better.
Wow.
Thank you.
Fantastic. It's a little nerve-wracking, isn't it?
It is. It definitely is a little nerve-wracking to do it right now,
And
but
we know that.
Yeah.
I know that. Anyone who's ever been on television, because of the technology and the lighting and everything, and it's such a delicate song, and you know, to open up your soul like
It is.
that. But you know, when we do the music show next, we're going to film. It'll be more a stage environment. So we really appreciate you giving us that example.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was fantastic. You're going to think like where the rougher spots were. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I hope so.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So now, let me say this. It's a good point to say this. Now that people have heard your music and everything, maybe they can see why. When I do a Remarkable Young Woman series, I didn't have a number 4 in mind. And then when I ran across you at that songwriting event, heard your music, and now hearing your story that you've only played a year now, you've never been on TV, you're just starting to do shows. It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
It really is. Yeah. So now, who are some of your other influences? I know you were saying Sarah McLachlan, and we all know her. She's fantastic. And there was a group you had emailed me.
The Wayland Jennies?
Wayland
Yes,
Jennies. Now,
they're
what are they
amazing.
about?
They're a folk group from Canada, and it's 3 women, and they have a violinist as well.
Yes.
And their music is just very beautiful music. They play tons of instruments.
Okay.
And they just are amazing. I saw them play in Sebastopol, which was wonderful.
Near your home. Wow. Wow. Now, you have shows coming up, perhaps, maybe in your area or in the San Francisco area?
Yes,
anything?
I'm going to be opening with Catherine at a show in Sebastopol at Aubergine on the 12th of November.
Wow, good. And that'll be acoustic and harmonies and everything. Wow. So where do you hope to go next? You know, now you've made your television debut and you've got your independent CD out. So maybe what would you dream of as a next stop?
Well, I mean, I really am just looking forward to booking gigs sort of in Sonoma County and just getting more comfortable with that, all of that kind of thing, and maybe going on tour one day would be fun. Yeah,
maybe just a small, even if it was statewide, that'd be a good step. And then start getting that following. I know we're putting your website information up under you as we speak, so people can go there and hear a lot of your songs. You know, that'll be really good. Now, you're writing also, you don't just have, you know, I wrote 10 songs and now I'm done.
I'm always writing, yes.
Okay.
Or I don't know if these shows will be connected, but when we do the performance,
they will.
I'm going to perform a song that I actually just finished writing a few days ago.
Oh, and what's the name of that? We'll listen for that.
It's called Blackbird.
Blackbird, okay. Wow. Yeah.
It's fun to write, and I always think that maybe I'm going to stop, like lose it and not be able to write anymore, but it's just something that I think will always keep coming as experiences.
If I can say as a songwriter that what I found was I went through, what I admire about your youth and talent is you're writing about things that other people have suffered through, but you're, you know, interpreting it as your own, and that's great. I had to live through it. I had to get busted, or I had to, you know, be addicted or something terrible to write about it. So good for you that you're channeling into that right now. What I found was after a terrible divorce, and I was writing frantically to live through it, and then as the river stopped flowing freely like that, I had become a more professional writer. So then you segue into writing quality music because of a talent you've actually rehearsed. So I think that's what the future is going to hold for you.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. So anything I've missed that you might want to bring up about your life or career? Something? Maybe not?
I don't know.
No? So you do have a degree that you could always fall back on, but I don't think you're going to need to fall back on that. Yeah, from what I hear.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, no, I absolutely believe that. And as I said, out of everyone at the songwriting event, I really thought your talent stood out. I went there with Jennifer Hayward, who you know, and she's fantastic too. She's going to be making some of her bigger debuts coming up. So with Remarkable Young Women 1, 2, and 3, they've played these places that I'm sure one day you'll be playing. Yeah, yeah. So we're glad to give you your start here.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it very much.
Yeah. You want to play maybe one more song? Do you feel up for another one?
You know what? Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get a little bit more comfortable in this chair.
Yeah, you know, when I was going to ask you to sing, I thought that'd be tough, sitting down.
Yeah.
And unfortunately with our lighting, you don't have a standing option, but for our main show, we'll be doing that.
Okay. All right, I'm going to give it a go. This song is called Black Wolf Sing.
Do you have one person that gives you light? Is she an angel like mine? Will she stay and away to pick out the steel from the rock-ribbed mountains you climb? She's the light when I'm fading. She stops the black when it's given. And I don't know just what I'd be. Gave her wings so I could see. And sometimes she just smiles, knowing that it's all gonna work out. And swear those eyes can make the black wolf sing. But I can see it waiting there outside of my door. 'Cause he can't stop the rain. He says, can she hear my pain? And it's hard to fully love a person that only gives. She makes my good heart beat black and blue. Yeah, that is my black wolf walking out in the rain. He's waiting for her light to dim through. But he will wait there for her, watching for her light to grow colder. He
the guitar.
Okay.
Yeah. Or not.
It's up to you. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely wonderful.
Thank
you.
you.
Know what? It's thrilling for me too, because after you had gifted me with your CD, and then I listened to it knowing, I'd only heard 2 songs. They were fantastic. And then to hear a whole album of them is phenomenal. And so we want to say thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you for being Remarkable Young Woman number 4. I didn't know if there was going to be a 4 or not. And we're going to do your show next. So people, I'll tell them right now that we're going to do this talk show is going to be on TV, but also you're going to have a half-hour music performance. So they'll really get to see and hear all of your songs. And then also they can go to your website, which will be showing, and that'll be good. So I'm going to close the show. Thank you a million for being here. It's good to hear your story and wonderful, wonderful music. Yeah. So I'm going to say this is King's Connection, and before I go, I always like to point out that the lights are done by Robin Frank, who does, I think, the best job in the business, and I have a wonderful crew who has done something fabulous. They just had the Western Alliance Video Excellence Awards, and we managed to win this one and this one and this one and that one, and we won all first places, and nobody else did that. So thank you, everybody, for volunteering your time, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Watch for King's Connection, Kids Connection, and this has been Remarkable Young Women. Good night.
Summertime makes everything better. Or does it just cover the pain with the weather? I don't want to try.